Race number 3 turned into an incredible wild ride with eventual winner Sam Guray on the EFC Group BMW taking the checkered. What will race 4 have in store for us? Stacey Nesbitt and Colin Fraser here at Atlantic Motorsport Park for round 2, race number 4 of GP Bike's Pro Superbike. And Colin, what a ride race 3 was.
Interesting how Saturday played out at Atlantic Motorsport Park. People are saying it might have been one of the best races we've ever had. This track has produced a lot of really great racing. It's super, super demanding. And for a long time, we had 6 guys running together, including most of the top racers in Canada. Alex Dumas led for a long time. Then some other faces arrived.
There is Torrin Collins, spectacular in both Supersport and Superbike this year, but having difficulties with his bike, he will not start here today.
Looking at our grid, there's Ben Young, Alex Dumas, and Jordan Zook very close together in qualifying, and for the second race in a row, Sam Garant takes pole on row 2, but on the pace.
Looking forward to seeing what Phil Tagama Blanchette can do as John Fraser on his Suzuki alongside the one-speed Suzuki of Trevor Daly.
And Daly is out of action. He's once again injured his hand.
Connor Campbell, DNF in the last race. See what he can accomplish here if they can get that B&T McFarlane Kawasaki program turned around, as we get an opportunity to look around a place that is always entertaining out here in Nova Scotia.
11 corners, no time to rest, very busy lap. If you can check your dashboard, then you've had a relatively calm time.
It is physical, it is fast, and it is extremely fun to watch the racing live here at Atlantic Motorsport Park. Round 2 of the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship is presented by Pro Cycle and Canadian Kawasaki Motors. Warm-up lap is underway. Let's head down to our Bridgestone pit reporter, Stacey Nesbitt.
Thanks, Marshall. Race 3 turned into an incredible show. Alex Dumas, Jordan Zook, and Sam Guray all swapping for the lead in a 6-rider battle in the GP Bike's Pro Superbike race. Sam Guray made the pass to claim the lead on his EFC Group BMW at the halfway point in the race as the top 5 swap passes behind him. Guray and Ben Young opened a bit of a gap in the battle for the top spot, with Sam maintaining his lead to claim the victory over the Van Dolders home team Honda rider. An incredible turnaround from round 1 to round 2 for Guray and his team. Disappointment for Alex Dumas after a crash in the wet morning practice before race 3 and still working out some kinks, but he managed to finish 5th overall. He's determined to redeem himself in race 4 to keep hold on the title lead heading into round 3 in Edmonton. Back to you.
Thank you, Stacey. As we get set to go in Atlantic Motorsport Park, it's the Power Sports TO starting lights. They are out and we're full throttle once again in Nova Scotia as Jordan Zook flies away down the inside of Alex Dumas, and immediately into the lead goes the 101.
Very similar start to yesterday, but this time Zook's Kawasaki really put the power down well, and yesterday it took him a while to get to the lead. This time he's got it right off the bat.
How about David McKay as well, being up into 4th position right now ahead of his Honda teammate Ben Young, as Alex Dumas looking at the back of Jordan Zook's CKM Kawasaki.
Yesterday, Dumas struggled a little bit when he was leading. You can see he's just a tad wide there. We'll see what Jordan can do and how far he can pull these guys clear of the rest of the group.
In the situation early on, McKay hasn't been in very much this year, Colin. He's been racing by himself a lot of the time, as usually it's the breakaway pack of 4 or 5 that we see up front, but McKay right in the mix right now.
Yeah, McKay's been making some steps, and he's still looking for that breakthrough ride, but here he is 4th ahead of Young. That is a very impressive start.
He's had some frustrations at Atlantic Motorsport Park in the past, but battling through those and continuing in this breakaway group of 5 early on. Jordan Zook leading them up over the top of the hill to complete lap number 1.
And if you want to talk about frustrations at AMP, I could tell you a story about every one of these front runners, because this is a place that generates frustration at a level unparalleled in Canadian racing.
It's so difficult to control the bike around this track, as Zook, the master of it, and Dumas trying to battle his way back onto the podium after failing to make it for the first time in his Bridgestone CSBK career as we go on board with the ODH Snow City Cycle Honda of David McKay.
And you might be shocked about just how high these bikes rev and how quickly, given it's 1,000 with an engine with components that are relatively heavy. But these bikes are revvy and they are happy at high RPM.
As they head down the roller coaster on the back straight, seems like Alex Dumas' bike a little bit more in control than we saw from the first race of the GP Bikes Pro Superbike feature class this weekend, as Sam Garan holding court as well in third position.
Yeah, got to remember Garan won. Mistake by Dumas.
Into the corner, Dumas off the line. We saw that as well in the past couple of races from Dumas, just a little bit off on the exit of the corner, and so he drops back into third position, and Zoke clears them into lap number 3.
And I think McKay's a little bit frustrated because he maybe could have gone through at the same time. And of course, once again, Ben Young in 5th, that would be off the podium. He's looking for his first win, and he needs to get rolling and not get bogged down.
Young setting himself here on the exit of turn number 2 as he climbs up the hill into turn number 3, and now you see Young on the inside of David McKay. And so the Van Dolders home team Honda up into 4th position.
Good look at the swing arm on that RRR. Lots of R's here. If you are looking for an R, we have a few.
The Fireblade bounces its way down the back straight, and now McKay is off the bike.
Top of the roller coaster there, McKay chasing Ben Young, similar but not identical Honda there. You can see he's trying to dig out, but the bike did tumble. It looked to me like he maybe spun the tire at the crest of the hill when it unweighted. So here we are looking backwards. You can see Young, and then behind Young, there goes McKay back end first. But unfortunately, when it gets to the grass, it flips over, and that's what usually does a lot of the harm.
An unfortunate ending to a promising early race from David McKay as the Honda takes a tumble in Shubenacadie. Portions of the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship are brought to you in part by Importation Stebo, Gulf Race Fuels, and EBC Brakes and Clutches. Closed captioning for the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship is brought to you in part by AIM Insurance, Keen Truck Incorporated, and Revs for Red. Welcome back to Atlantic Motorsport Park on lap number 5 of 22. There you see the 4-pack, breakaway pack. It is Jordan Zoke, Sam Garan, Ben Young, and Alex Dumas. Phil de Gama Blanchette as well. He is in 5th, but well off the pace of this front 4 as Ben Young takes a look on the inside of Sam Garan. Yeah,
that was a bit of an ambitious pass, but it was not done Collins style. It was done with a little more discipline, so maybe not as frightening for those involved. And Garan didn't leave the door wide open, but I think Ben exploited just a slight braking advantage.
You see the move from Ben Young as well on Alex Dumas a little bit earlier. Young certainly trying to charge his way to the front. He wants to get the number 1 plate back on the top of the box for the first time on this Honda.
Yeah, definitely he's in giddy-up mode, right? He doesn't want Zoke to get away, and Zoke isn't getting away yet, but this will provoke some kind of confrontation because I guarantee you Garan is not going to be happy in 3rd either.
Again, Young holding his line that time, but taking a little bit of a peek on the inside of the CKM Kawasaki, and now, as we say, he will dive up the inside in turn number 3 on Jordan Zoke.
Yeah, you can see that bike is struggling. Ben is riding it hard. He's got the whip out, but good setup on the machine and doing a good job on a track where it's really difficult to get your bike to handle.
Sliding it around and also trying to understand the delivery of the Honda Power, different than the BMW that he just passed in Sam Garan, of course, as they wiggle their way down the back straight.
And they went looking for mid-range after Shannonville. They thought that was a problem. They had lots of debate about performance off the back straight. There you see Sam Garan with some different lines, and he believes that those lines are an advantage and doesn't like to show them to anyone else, but Dumas is hanging right in there. Remember, both Garan and Dumas are on BMW, so in theory, Dumas could take advantage if those were better lines.
Dumas got to be seeing Garan go wide and wondering if he's going to make the corner, and he swings back out in front as Garan tries to pick up speed, now going down into turn number 1 on the outside of Jordan Zoke, and he won't be able to make that move work, but Zoke cuts across and will hold on to 2nd position.
After I was a little sarcastic about Garan's different lines, he almost made that pass work by exploiting that entrance to turn 1.
Made the move work as Jordan Zoke trying to hold on to Ben Young. He's up in 1st position with that number 1 plate. The other Honda side of the garage, well, unfortunately, he's down in the pits with Stacey Nesbitt.
I'm here with Dave McKay, who's just come out of the Superbike race. Dave, super disappointing. What happened?
Really good pace. Just lost the front coming over the crest, down at the bottom. Super frustrating. I thought I was running really well. I was pushing the guys in front of me. To be honest, don't know what happened. Just unfortunate incident. Really frustrating. I knew we were going to have a good race. But we'll just have to push on and go for the next one.
You've been right up there yesterday and today. Plans for Edmonton?
Just to do the same thing. We're getting better every round. So, you know, we got to lick our wounds as we can. You know, it's frustrating, but it's racing. It's what it is. We're going to have to go next.
Tough day for McKay, who's king of the SOAR series at Grand Bend these days.
As we see this front group of three starting to separate themselves a little bit, as Alex Dumas dropping off the pace slightly into the high 108s over the last couple of laps, as Sam Garan takes a little bit of a look here on Jordan Zoke, as the CKM Kawasaki number 101 is trying to get himself back onto the podium here after a struggle of a first race at Shubenacadie.
And over the years, Young and Zoke have had a lot of battles, and it goes back to when Zoke was BMW mounted. So Young and Zoke have that in common, both formerly BMW team leaders.
Ben Young continuing to control the pace up front, manage a little bit as well, but push on and get as much as he possibly can out of that Fireblade. On Sunday at Shubenacadie last year, Ben Young was dominant. He was all over the rest of the field. Well, right now it's this top four that have been elite through the first two rounds of the GP Bikes Pro Superbike feature class in 2025. But Ben Young trying to hold them off and claim yet another Canada Cup on that Van Dolders home team Honda. Welcome back to Atlantic Motorsport Park. Race number 4 of the GP Bikes Pro Superbike season is Ben Young out in front. It is Honda, then BMW, Kawasaki. And you get a look right here of Sam Garan charging his way into second spot.
On the brakes, on the bumps, heading downhill into turn 1. One of the most daunting things to get the entrance speed correct right here when you're committing to the turn. You have to feel like you're going about 80 miles an hour faster than you could possibly make the corner. And then right about here, you have to think about jamming on the brakes for the hairpin.
Does that qualify as a cutting off of the nose Colin right there from Sam Garan across the front of Zoke?
Yes, he might have spited his face.
As Ben Young leads across the line, we begin lap number 11 in the gap. You see how tight it is right there with Sam Garan all over the back, and all of a sudden this trio of riders who have been great early on this season on differing machinery are tightening up the gaps lap after lap.
Solidly in the 108s, which is where you would expect the pace to be, but it is not low 108, so not quite as fast as we have seen here. But Ben Young leading in the low 8s is not a surprise at this track, but Ben Young leading in the low 8s on a Honda, that's new.
Fastest rider on track last lap around was Sam Garan with a 108.265. Let's send it down to our Bridgestone pit reporter, Stacey Nesbitt.
We're here with Scott Cartier, Ben Young's crew chief. What changes have we made to the bike today?
So yesterday we struggled a little bit with a clutch issue, and he found it was just pushing him a little bit, so we didn't want to go too aggressive yesterday. We think we figured that out, and he's going really well right now. Looks like he can push and be pretty aggressive today.
Yeah, he got into the lead super quick. Did he change the strategy for today?
He wants to be out front. So if everything was good, he said, I'm going. And he wants to lead this and be in control.
We're hoping for a birthday win?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Good luck.
Thank you.
As Stacey pointed out, Ben Young celebrating his birthday. He's got his whole family here along with his crew at the track. So it could be a very nice event at the winner's circle if things play out the way they look right now.
They would love nothing more than to celebrate a birthday and a first victory on that Van Dolders home team Honda, as Sam Garan trying to prevent that and go for the double here, as he was our winner in race number 1.
It's been fun watching these shots of Garan because he is very smooth at Shubenacadie. Last year he was battling the track. I mean, he battled it into submission eventually, but perhaps a little more polished, and maybe the bike's a little easier to ride in terms of the electronics.
You see Young getting everything he can out of that freshly painted red Honda here in Shubenacadie. Nice fresh look as they try to make sure that they hold off the efforts of BMW, who currently leads the Constructors' Championship entering this race.
Speaking of paint jobs, perhaps the most distinctive is the lime green Kawasaki of Zoke in third. On and off, he has been the top runner for Kawasaki here. His Superbike debut career-wise was at this track on a lime green Kawasaki in the late 90s.
See a bit of a wider line here for Sam Grand down the hill as Jordan Zoke on that bright green Kawasaki. Lots of Canadian Kawasaki Motors fans in attendance here in Shubenacadie, hoping to see Zoke get even higher up on the podium.
Here it's got a good shot of those big Bridgestone slick tires. You can see our second place Garant putting a lot of rubber on the road, very aggressive with the throttle, and of course that depends on the electronics working perfectly. He has his own representative from Alpha Technic to tune the black box, if you will, but still have to go out there and ride the thing.
How much of a difference do you think that's made for Garant in his efforts this year?
I think it's helped a lot. I think the big struggle for him is having the trust in a change in your riding to suit the electronics. And I don't think it's as easy for him as it has been for, say, Ben Young, who really committed to the different electronics. And you could say the advantage there is here is Ben on a different platform with a different set of electronics, and they found a fair amount of speed right away. I don't think they're fully happy with where their package is. They've got their own electronics guy too, but it's become a situation, and Zoke in third, he has a new electronics package, but the difference is his maintenance guy is Jordan Zoke.
Well, modern Superbike racing, electronics making all of the difference to get the most out of these Bridgestone tires. Young leads from Garant and Zoke in Shubenacadie. Portions of the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship are brought to you in part by Importation Stebo, Gulf Race Fuels, and EBC Brakes and Clutches. Lap 19 of 22. Ben Young ahead of Sam Garant. Jordan Zoke slipping off the pace just a little bit as Alex Dumas has faded significantly, and Phil de Gamma Blanchette still holding on to 5th position right now on his Mott's Machining Honda.
It's a time to contemplate the history books, because a decade ago, Jody Christie was Honda's representative. Jordan Zoke was riding for BMW, and they staged some fantastic battles here at Shubenacadie. And arguably, Christie built a championship out of his success at Shubenacadie. So this is an interesting situation. Further trivia, Young lent a bike to Jody Christie last year, so those guys are actually friends, the current and the former Honda factory riders.
We get a look here at the Vast Performance technical data coming out of this race number 4 on that Ben Young Van Dolder's home team Honda.
And there you can see that Ben's using 1st through 4th gear, and that's unusual. He doesn't like to go all the way down to 1st, but that's a situation with the gearbox in the Honda, and that's where they are right now. It'll be interesting next year if they make some different choices with the gearbox, because he's on a 2-year deal with Honda, and maybe they'll have a bike that's a little easier for him to handle. They have been struggling with some clutch concerns here at Nova Scotia.
See Sam Garant starting to hunt a little bit as he closed down the gap. He was fastest on track that last lap around, and trying to eye up the lines of Ben Young as they head towards the hill here, climb up, and will begin lap number 21 of 22. Could this be the spot down into turn 1 where Garant takes a look?
Yeah, I love that shot, the cockpit shot that really gives you a sense of what the riders are dealing with and the data that they could read if they had a time to avert their gaze from the road ahead, and you do not avert your gaze here at Shubenacadie.
Slightly busy behind the handlebars, but Sam Garant locked in right now and trying to find a way past while Young tries to make Honda history.
Garant's bike is handling really well, and I'm so impressed with the way it's putting the power down. His lines are maybe not as aggressive as they had been, but when you're following Ben Young, you can probably fall in behind and do pretty well just doing something similar to what he's doing. And last year, when both were on BMWs, we saw a fair bit of that.
Talk about not being able to look down at your dash to see data. I don't think Ben has time to think about the fact he's racing against the M1000 RR from BMW that he used to call home as well, but certainly one of those moments as you see these two stretching their legs out in front of the rest of the field that is amazing to think he jumped onto the Honda, and now he's trying to hold off Garant. Is a little bit wide here, and Garant takes advantage.
It's just a moment entering the carousel when Ben wasn't sure and he had to run wide, and that opened the door, and full marks to Garant, who has now taken the lead with almost no time left in this race, and Ben has to do it now.
And Garant probably thought he was going to have to line something up diving into turn 1, turn 2, but now on the final lap, all of a sudden he leads.
Yeah, Young is going to have to figure this one out, and he has no time, but we've seen some pretty brave passes this race.
And also know that Ben Young Probably never faster than when he's highly motivated after a small mistake. Don't see them very often, but he quickly gets back up to pace. And the question becomes, where can that Honda potentially overtake the BMW?
Well, we like to say if Ben's within a second and a half, he can win it, and he's within 2 bike lengths, so it's doable, and he's where he needs to be. Off the back straight is the first chance he's going to have.
All right, so here they go down the roller coaster one final time. And Schumann-Acketing, you see Young, the handlebars wiggling all over the place as he picks up the drive, gets as close as he can. Can't make the move here though, Colin.
Into the carousel, Young's trying everything.
Takes a look up the inside. Garan, defensive line, gets back on the power. We'll go once more to the right, up the hill to the left as Young makes the move on the inside. Picks up the drive towards the line, and it is too close to call. Mario Garan's dancing on top of the pits. And so it looks like Garan has come away victorious. What a finish.
And I think Ben made a fantastic move, very brave, and it worked, but I think that wheelie at the very end hurt him, and that opened the door at Garan's Electronics, maybe just a little bit more effective when he needed the drive. And you can see Ben patting the front of the BMW. He's not supposed to do that anymore.
Look at the move here on the inside by Ben Young, and the heart rate absolutely through the roof as they came towards the line. Everybody watching a photo finish, and you see that front wheel just slightly off the front.
And that, my friend, is as good as it gets.
These riders must be absolutely exhausted after 22 laps around Atlantic Motorsport Park, but Sam Garan does the double and holds off Ben Young.
And if you're wondering what nothing looks like at the line, it was 0.09 of a second.
Incredible battle between these two. Great competitors, tons of respect for each other, but good, hard, clean racing. Let's hear from our winner, Sam Garan.
Excellent race, Sam. Did we change strategies from race 1 to race 2 and take both home?
Yes, this race, the strategy was just to enjoy, to have fun and no pressure, and it paid off. We were having like a relaxed race with Ben. He just went to the front for the majority of the race, and then he made a little mistake about 2 or 3 laps to go, and I just made the pass. Then it was a drag race to the line, and I won. So 2 and 2, it's amazing. Thank you to all our sponsors: EFC Group, Roulotte, United Rental, Molloy, GMR, KSA Lawyer, Ellipse Insurance, Norbeck. Everyone, all my team, Mario did an amazing job, Jordan, Steve, and Peter. It's been amazing. Thank you to BMW Canada and all the fans that came here.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sam Garan gets the victory, does the double. He now has 2 victories, but Ben Young is on top of the GP Bikes Pro Superbike division with no victories. The consistency so far on that Honda is holding off the rest. It's Alex Dumas just 2 points back of Young, and we look at the Constructors' Championship column. BMW still ahead of Honda.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be close.
Kawasaki holding it down in 3rd spot as well right now, but the BMW out in front, thanks in large part to the efforts of that man on the top of the box, the number 2 plate, wondering whether or not he can climb his way back into the 2025 championship after a difficult round 1. It's 2 for 2 for number 2 in round 2.